It's an entire going to make this night. It's adventure time. Have you ever just like watched a TV show you really liked or like a movie you really like and there was just one scene that you thought was super cool and you're like, man, I wish I had a poster of that. Well, guess what? I've got an answer for you now because today we are making a 3D pop-out picture of any scene from any TV show, from any movie that you like. But today I'm gonna be doing BMO from Adventure Time, which is one of my favorite characters from one of my favorite shows of all time. It's basically an episode of Adventure Time where BMO, he's on a skateboard and he's trying to save these people, but then when he blasts into this pile of jelly, he gets stuck with this epic cool explosion behind him. I took every layer of that picture, like BMO, his arm, his leg, the little buttons on him, and his screen, and I drew it into individual pieces where I can cut it out and put it all together again to make it kind of like a pop-up effect. If you look really carefully, right here, it's like BMO's shape, and this is the screen. I wrote everything. This is the buttons, this is the teeth and the mouth, and then the little slot. And I also have the explosion and the skateboard all into little pieces. If you want to do this project too, I put like the download of the stuff that I drew into a file where you can just print it out, cut it out, color it yourself, and put it together with me because it's really cool and it looks awesome. So without further ado, let's get started with our project. The real shape of BMO is actually inside the lines, but I'm gonna be cutting outside the lines just because if I make a mistake, I can go back and fix it versus if I like cut it exactly the same right piece and I make a mistake, I have to start all over again. Now the screen, it's okay if you wanna make it a little bit bigger than what it really is, just because we're gonna be pasting that at the back and we're gonna cut a hole right here where the screen's gonna be, but it's gonna be like in the back, like that. So let me just cut this screen out real quick. I have a sketchbook here where the paper is slightly thicker and it'll handle like glue better. So hold it down and then I'm gonna trace it onto my sketchbook paper. Also do the same thing for the screen right here. So these two colors are what makes BMO's color like really pop out. Before you just start coloring, get another piece of paper and test the colors out. As you can see, I actually tested BMO's color out a couple times where I tested all the other colors as well, blend it slightly together little by little, right? And then you see if the color matches. Sometimes it's like, I tried to make it a little bit more green, but it wasn't nice. So you just keep trying different color swatches until you get the right one or the one that you like. The thing about color pencils, you don't want to color too hard. You know you're coloring too hard when you do something like this. You see all that little things, the little color specks that just flies off? That means you're doing it too hard. You have to do it lighter. So you just kind of color it lightly. It takes a little bit of time, but I guarantee you that your pencil won't break and you won't have these little smudge of like little color specks flying all over the place. All right, so let's get started with coloring BMO. So I get the blue first and I color it just one way like this. It's okay to color outside the line. It's actually better if you color outside the lines. Now I'm gonna go with the other color and I'm gonna go the opposite direction. So you just kind of keep circling through. You never wanna just color one way, because then these little holes of like white, now you look carefully, you see these little white holes, they're not gonna fill up until you go in different directions. Color it one way like this, one way like this, another this way, maybe like this sometimes. You just keep going and keep coloring until you don't see any more of those white holes. And done. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna color the screen, but it's a little bit different. I'm still gonna be using the two same colors, but I'm only gonna be doing one layer of each color. So we're gonna start with this one and just kind of circle, just a thin layer. We're not gonna do too thick. Then we're gonna take the second color and we're just gonna circle around again like this. The next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna get your white color pencil. I know, sometimes you look at it and go, why is there a white color pencil? What use could it possibly have? Well, I'll tell you what it does, okay? It actually smooths out the color. Look, I'm coloring the white. Look at the difference between this side and this side. It's a lot smoother, right? I put a little bit more pressure when I do the white color. So just kind of keep going, circular motion, same thing. Now that I have both of them colored, I'm actually gonna start cutting them out now. Body part is off. I'm actually gonna take the screen that I cut out earlier and I'm gonna cut out all the black because I am going to trace it onto the body part. So I'm gonna flip it to the other side and then trace it on the back. So I'm gonna go towards the front. Yeah, got it. Okay, now you're thinking, how am I gonna cut this now? There's a little trick. I don't know if you ever learned this in school or anything like that. You fold it a little bit and you get the scissors and you just kind of cut. And you just kind of cut that little piece out. Come on. Yeah, we got the screen. I'm gonna cut out the screen now. So now you see, this thing is gonna go right in the back. I'm not gonna glue it yet. I'm actually gonna start coloring and cutting out BMO's little buttons. Now, you can get it off the paper that I have, but today I'm actually just gonna freehand it. So what I'm doing is actually I'm gonna color it on the front first and then cut it out from the back. I don't need that big, just a little circle here, big old black line here. I need a little green right here. So I have the colors here and I have the buttons as a reference on the side. There you go. Just kind of freehand that. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. If you actually look on BMO, he's kind of like, sometimes the shapes aren't exactly symmetrical. Oh, last step. Okay. Now, here comes the 3D part. There are two ways that you can do it. You can either get like a foam board and kind of cut like a little thin part of it, or you could just get some pieces of paper, fold it into a little pop-up thing, and then glue it. I'm gonna get a piece of paper, fold it like this, and just kind of roll it together. Get a glue stick or a regular glue. If you use regular liquid glue, wait till it dries before you put onto the paper. Glue stick is better, so you just kind of glue it like that. So here I go. All right, so I have the pieces glued and I also took the liberty to glue the little pieces behind the buttons. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run it across the paste and then stick it where I need it to be. So just around the frame of BMO. You could use regular glue if you want to, but it runs the risk of making your paper really wrinkly. Paste that on there, stick that on. Now before I glue on the screen, I actually made BMO's little mouth. Put some paste in the back of it, like that, and then just kind of stick it right in the middle. I didn't want to like make little dots for eyes, like cut out a piece of paper, so I'm just gonna go ahead and draw the eyes on. You want to start small and then gradually make it bigger. And then you got a little BMO, he's so cute! Now I'm gonna get some glue paste, go over the lines with the paste, and then I'm gonna stick BMO's screen and press just the sides to connect it to those little pop-up pieces. And then you have BMO's screen. Isn't that cool? Like it's a little space in between, so it looks like that gives it that 3D effect. Just because you put a little bit of paper in the back and it's like popped up in your face. Now that BMO's screen is on there, I'm gonna go ahead and put on all his buttons. And we got the front of BMO done! Ah, we did it! Now the reason why I didn't make these two buttons pop out, like these two and this little blue one right here, is because you kind of want to give it a little bit of like the 2D and the 3D. So that way the 3D ones look even brighter and it pops out and you'll notice it more instead of everything just kind of blasted in your face like that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Now that we have BMO all done, I'm actually gonna keep doing the rest of the process, like putting together his skateboard, adding the side of his body, adding the explosion, his legs and his arms. But I'm gonna do it in a time lapse because everything is pretty much the same technique. So let's just do a quick time lapse and go. Oh my God. Okay, like I know it's not absolutely perfect. Like I know the screen isn't completely perfect and the buttons aren't either, but that's okay. And the explosion part, I didn't want to make this 3D, so I didn't put any of the sticker behind it of the little lumpy paper. I kind of put like a thin board right behind BMO to make him pop out a little bit more to give him that 3D effect. But then like the rest of the specks of the smoke, I just kind of colored onto the paper. It looks hard, but honestly, it's really not that hard. If you notice, like the colors are a little bit different from what I did earlier because I actually used this thing called solvent, and it's a kind of liquid that kind of breaks up the color pencils on the paper, but I didn't want to use it in the video because it's really not for kids. It's pretty much poison, and it literally says, when I buy the bottle, it says poison, and then it has the X on it with the skull on top. I'm like, oh my God. If you want to do this picture as well, I put a link in the description down below where you can download the picture where I, traced out BMO, print it out, or if you have a screen like an iPad or something, get a very dull pencil and put the paper over it, turn the brightness all the way up, and just kind of trace it, because that's what I did for the beginning when I first tried to practice this. It's the same thing, you just have to trace it though. You don't have to do the exact same colors as I did because I wanted to follow the picture like to the point, to the dot, but you don't have to do that. You can put any kind of decorations, and if you do it, please, please, please show me on our Instagram, Waffles HQ. Tag me in it or send me a message and I'll reply to you. And also, one more last important thing. Subscribe to our channel, ring the bell, like this video, like the rest of our videos, and then go and watch Adventure Time because it is honestly the best show in the world. I know it's over now, but I still love it and I still watch it all the time and I miss it. And if you didn't watch the ending, after I watched the ending, I was just on the floor and I was just like crying so hard, like lemon grab. God. If you watch the show, you know what I'm talking about. Now, it's time for me, your queen of arts, because clearly I have earned that title now. You are now minions of art. Go on, little one. Make your own. Show me what you got. Bye.